Wemby's just not going to win because it's not a good enough defense when he's on the court. It's just that simple. I think a lot of that has to do with the roster. A lot of that has to do with how they play him. But he's just not winning the period just because he's not been the best defender in basketball this year. I mean, I think it's been Rudy since about week 2. It's going to be Rudy, and Rudy's going to have his 4th, and he's going to go down as a generation's best interior defender, one of the best interior defenders of all time.
Let me ask you this, Swiper: is the defensive player of the year? Excuse me, is the defensive player of the year? Does that mean that you're the best defensive player in the game?
I think that it has to be said at this point that the fact that Rudy has been able to accumulate in the same era of Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, and other elite defenders 4 defensive player of the years in a 6-year span?
7 years. 4 times.
Years?
If he wins it this year, it'll be 4 times in 7 years that he won it.
Yeah, you don't.
He won it in back-to-back, and he won it in back-to-back seasons too, by the way.
Yeah, and then you just don't do that on accident. I think Draymond and Kawhi were battling for that at the apex, from 15 to about 17 or whatever. But I think Rudy has just solidified himself that he's the most important interior defender in the NBA. And I think Anthony Davis is great, but the Lakers defense also isn't good this year. It's just not. And AD's a part of the reason why. Now, I think the roster doesn't help him at all. I want to give him respect to that. I think he's one of the 2 or 3 best defenders in the league, and he makes up for a lot of their deficiencies. But Rudy with the Utah Jazz, they still had number 1 defense, even though the fact they had Donovan Mitchell and Boyan on that roster, and they had Joe Ingles and all that. But I just think Rudy is just clearly has solidified himself, man. And I think that
if you look back at the defensive player of the year historically, over the last 20 years, Marcus Camby is the only guy that can say that he was on a team that wasn't in the top 10 in the league in defense. Everybody else over the last 20 years who has won the defensive player of the year has been on a team that's been 1, 2, or 3.
And he had one of the most outlier rim protection seasons ever at that point.
That year of Marcus Camby.
That's what it took. That's what it took for him to do that.
Right, and it took something astronomical in order for that to happen. So more times than not, when you're talking about the defensive player of the year, it's the best defender on the best defensive team in the game. So Wemby, who for all intents and purposes is looking like one of the best defenders in the game, I feel like we're rushing him to be the best because what he came in and what he was projected to be. Wemby is he's going to be this at some point. I'm on record saying I think that in the next couple of years, Wemby's going to be the best defender in the game. He's not yet. I don't think he is yet because he still has a lot to learn. Add that to the fact that team that he's on, they aren't, and they don't capitalize on how good Wemby is as a defensive team. So that's going to be a hindrance to him as the best defender in the game. So whenever you're talking about teams and you got the best defender in the game or the defensive player of the year, the main thing that you have to look at is how good that team is defensively. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the best team, it's the best player on the best team defensively.
I would just say maybe.
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
No, I've been here, Damo. It's on you.
I was just gonna. I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. Anybody that knows me know I'm about the consistency of how the award is voted for usually. If for over the past 20 years, if only one player wasn't a top 10 on a top 10 defensive team and it took an outlier for him to really win it, then I would assume that. I mean, I'm not gonna complain for Wemby not getting it. Do I think he should get it? Yeah. I don't like Rudy Gobert, so I'm biased.
Rudy is being stomped on this episode.
Yeah, y'all know how I feel about Baguette Bianco.
He deserves it over AD too.
Hmm?
Does he deserve it over Anthony Davis? Wemby?
In my opinion, yeah, I would say so. I think genuinely he's the best. I think he's the best defensive player in the league. In my opinion,
I don't think Victor Wembanyama is really in the race for defensive player of the year. I think Rudy has it hands down anyway. So
who's the top 3 candidates though that you would say? I know you mentioned AD as well. You wouldn't say Victor's third?
Probably Bam.
Wemby is the second favorite, right? Like by the odds. I think.
That's cool. I'm not sure. Yeah. I haven't checked him. I just don't think he really had a shot. I think Rudy got it. I wanted to ask a couple questions about Victor's defense. And just generally asking, does he alter shots that he doesn't block?
Yes.
Okay, so yes. So I just wanted to make sure because I see that against Sangoon, that game against Sangoon, I was kind of like he got a lot of blocks, but
the shots he didn't block were like
you know what I'm saying? Like it was cool, but I think Rudy's a great defender though. I think he has some defensive player of the years in his future.